gotten tested molested by the boss.
That's not okay. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like, so this is one guy.
He's just making money.
No, but that's the thing is, it's not. That's like at its core principle is so horrible because so what happened was he had a box where we would give him our tips and to tip out, and he'd put it in there. And he's like, and he said to one girl, which I know that's got its own issues, but it's fine. He goes, she goes, oh, I owe you $20. And so there's a 20 on top. She grabs it. He goes, hey, I don't put my hands in your box. And I was like, I just looked at him. I'm like, you're a pig. And she was like, ha. And she was actually like obscenely hot. She was smoking hot. And I think she used to be fat, so she didn't have much self-confidence. But I was also previously fat, so I had no self-confidence either, but she was ridiculously hot. But she just kind of played it off, and she was like, ha 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 ha, you're so funny. And I'm like, I just leaned right, I was standing right beside her. I looked over, and I'm like, you're a pig, and you disgust me. Like, I can't. But
God.
the funny,
where were you?
Yeah,
I should have carried you to like every job I've ever had.
Well, that was the funny thing is, me and him had a showdown.
I only told one.
Well, and you should. And this is, you know what, guys? This is a piece of advice that I think is very beneficial. Every job, nobody has gotten a job because they didn't need it, okay? Everyone needs the job, okay? Everyone goes into say, oh, well, I need this job. Yeah, no shit. Otherwise, you wouldn't be working, okay? Everyone needs a job. That doesn't make it okay for them to abuse you. It doesn't make it okay for people to take advantage of you. So if something like that happens, yeah, stand up to you for yourself. This guy who was massive. And honestly, I look back, and that's the thing is, I still had fat guy brain where I'm like, oh, you want to go fat guy fight? Let's go fat guy fight. And I wasn't fat anymore, so it was a bad idea. But he was like, oh, it's like that? I said, yeah, you know what? It is. And he goes, well, you know what? Fine, whatever. And when I had forced him to put his money where his mouth is, he walked away. I was in the kitchen, and I was a horrible waiter. Just to be very clear, I was the shittiest of shit waiters.
Yeah, you've told us that.
But when he walked away, the kitchen staff came out from the line and were like, I just want to shake your hand. And I'm like, for what? They're like, I've never seen anyone talk to him like that.
Yeah, because people don't.
No, they don't.
And especially in that business, because you won't get the hours that you want, because especially as like a bartender or waitress, there's certain nights that are
profitable.
Like you want.
Absolutely.
Right? Or you want like these certain shifts because you know that it's going to be good, like a wing night or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So if you let the boss kind of flirt with you a little bit, guess what? You get those shifts.
Yeah.
But also if you kind of act respectful and stuff too, though, because that's why I started taking the dominating role, the authority role and stuff, because I was getting...
Sounds exciting.
And that's why I like to be the boss. Like, I have to be in charge, because if I'm not, then I'm a perfect target for people to take advantage, because people underestimate me as it is, and they really? Go in thinking that I don't have the capabilities. I got stung by a bee yesterday,
what
and my leg is just like, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Like yesterday, and he was messaging me. I'm like, you know what? From start to finish, this hasn't been awesome. Like, I did have family. We had family stop by and come see my grandpa and stuff, and it was cool to see like people other like outside your circle. Though we're still wearing masks, but to see people outside your circle is kind of cool. Yeah. Like, you would never know how cool it is until like it happens.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And you know what? It is. That's why it's
especially because
there's nothing
back in lockdown.
Yeah. Well.
You too, I know. I'm sorry.
No.
Person to mention that.
No. I don't take that. I don't take offense or take it personally or anything. It is what it is, right? Like, it's not.
You're super optimistic during these times,
which is really weird.
I need to go away somewhere.
I know, and you know what? That's so. It's very weird because I'm not really like I wouldn't say I'm pessimistic, but I lean towards pessimism. Like, I try and reason back to realistic. Like, that's I try and I'm only optimistic in the worst of situations where I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it out. People are like, what? It's on fire. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to make it nice, right? But that's the thing is, like, during this time, I've like I go back and watch every once in a while the rants and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of surprising myself with how optimistic I am and just how positive I am, because it's not really a positive time in my life. It's pretty horrible that I can't get out of the house and do shit, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This has been a complete different life's in my existence.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
I've never ever had something like this, and I'm used to change. I'm fine with it, but this is a change that completely takes me out of my element.
Oh yeah.
Like I am, nothing is like I've never ever had.
No,
like,
nobody
this is
has.
completely
Though.
not.
No,
me.
nobody. It's
like,
it's
just weird.
This is so crazy, right? Like, think about it. It's when was the last time that you went out to a bar? Would have been
when I did the. Oh, mine's not that long ago.
No. But like, no. Before quarantine, I mean.
Oh, okay. It would have been when I did the shows. I was working in a bar.
So it would have been the end of February, beginning of March.
Well, mine was March 13th was my last day of work.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's crazy, right? Like
My hair's all jacked today. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
You know, she's like, oh, I'm so thin. I have lots of hair. Just rubbing it in.
Oh, fuck off. I got some of my extensions. I don't have them in today, but I got my extensions if you want to borrow them. You can clip them to the little patch on top. Clip.
It makes me feel even better when you refer to that as the little patch on top. That's nice. That's just to be very clear. It's makes me feel
Cabbage Patch Kids. You're like a grown-up Cabbage Patch Kid.
I will see you in hell.
You totally look like a grown-up. You totally look like a grown-up Cabbage Patch
I do.
This is what happens in Magic.
I do look like a grown-up Cabbage Patch Kid. That's exactly what I look like. As long as I'm not one of those. Do you remember Garbage Pail Kids? Those were pretty rough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love those things.
I was that kid. They had to make those dolls so that way my people had something to communicate with.